we have another question. It's kind of a perennial question, and I think I've dealt with it before, but I could answer it from a little different angle of vision. And this issue comes up a lot about the development of good qualities. And as we know from Bhagavatam, and Prabhupada has quoted this a lot, that a devotee has all the good qualities of the demigods, and a non-devotee has no good qualities because they're on the mental platform. The mental platform means they're thinking about material enjoyment. Their good qualities are not connected to anything Krishna conscious. They're just qualities, you could say sattvic qualities. But because they're not connected to Krishna, you can't consider them good. But Prabhupada once said something different. And we've all heard this example of zeros. You have so many zeros. When Prabhupada came to America, hey, you have beautiful roads, and you're beautiful people, and you have so much money, and you have technology, and you have so many zeros. Put the one in front of Krishna. So Prabhupada said the same thing about qualities. You have compassion, you have humility, you have tolerance, forbearance, forgiveness. These are all zeros until you put the one. So he described them as all your good qualities become zero, then you put the one, Krishna. If you take Krishna away, then the qualities are of no value. So that's one thing. So we do see good qualities in other people, just like someone is a great artist, a great singer, a great businessman. But for us, even though they're great, it's really a zero because they're not doing it for Krishna. But we can't say they're not a good singer, even though they're not singing for Krishna. We can't say, materially speaking, they're not a good singer. Or this is a nice guy. We can't say he's not a nice guy. He's a nice person, he's kind, he's generous, and so on. But his life is centered around himself. Manoratena. He's just acting whimsically by the direction of his mind. But he has these good qualities, but unfortunately, they're not being used for Krishna. So that's one point. And then the other point is, but do we have to work on developing our good qualities? And Prabhupada said, well, if you become Krishna conscious, all the good qualities will develop. Okay, so we base what we're going to say now on that principle. We can't deny that. It's right in Shastra. Prabhupada has said it over and over and over again. But let's say your spiritual master says, you should be more kind. You should be more compassionate. You should have better relationships with the devotees. You should be more forgiving. You should be more sense-controlled. You should control your anger. You should be more forgiving. I don't think you would say, well, Guru Maharaj, why do I need to work on this? Because as I advance in Krishna consciousness, all these qualities will develop. That I wouldn't suggest telling your spiritual master that when he tells you, you need to control yourself. And so we can see in the instructions we're given, so often we're given instructions to develop certain behaviors or certain attitudes. And generally we don't think, okay, I don't have to worry about this because when I become Krishna conscious, they will develop. But we kind of intuitively understand that this is part of the practice of Krishna consciousness, to work on these qualities. So, is a young devotee humble, or is a pure devotee humble? A young devotee is practicing to be humble. A pure devotee is humble. But if you don't practice to be humble, how will you become humble? So really the understanding that all good qualities will develop, yes, they will. But we have to practice acting with those good qualities because that's part of the practice of Krishna consciousness. So we have to practice Krishna consciousness so the good qualities will develop. That's in line with what Prabhupada is saying. All good qualities will develop. But Prabhupada never means you don't have to practice acting with those qualities. And then they will develop, because the practice of acting with those qualities is the practice of bhakti. So that's why we're told, control yourself. Be forgiving. Be humble. Be compassionate. Be simple. Don't be duplicitous. Be honest. Be straightforward. All these things. We would never say, I'm not going to worry about them because they're going to develop when I become Krishna conscious. We know These are instructions. We need to work on this. And the last thing I want to say is, look at the 4 principles. This is, I think, the most interesting thing. Because the example that Prabhupada consistently gives when he says all good qualities will develop is that you don't have to independently endeavor to be vegetarian when you become a devotee. You become vegetarian. But we're told when we move in the temple, and especially at initiation, we have to promise to be vegetarian. And one could say, but Prabhu, if I just chant Hare Krishna, I'll be a vegetarian. Yes, that's true. That's where you'll get your strength. But still, we have to make sure to read the labels. We have to make sure to follow that principle. So the practice of being vegetarian is part of the practice of being Krishna conscious. Being Krishna conscious will make us vegetarian, but there are details within, like read the labels, right? The practice of Krishna consciousness will make you humble. It will make you equipoised. It will make you kinder. But sometimes when you get upset, practice control so you don't become angry with the devotee. Because if you become angry, that's offensive. If you become offensive, it's going to harm your bhakti. So to just say blankly, I don't have to do anything other than just chant Hare Krishna and not worry about anything and all the good qualities will develop, is not understanding that instruction in a contextual or broad sense. It's a very, I would say, narrow understanding. I wouldn't say it's an understanding, it's a misunderstanding, because we have to see that Prabhupada has given us so many instructions to act in so many ways as a means for helping us become Krishna conscious.